Hi, everybody. It's Ricky Heller here from rickyheller.com, and I help people on restricted diets learn to find food that's both delicious and supports their health so that they can eat well, love their food again, and still live in the real world. So today I wanted to talk about what's kind of going on all around us here, which is holiday prep and holidays. And we were having a little discussion in my Sweet Life Club about the holidays and desserts and sugar and all those kinds of things that are around this time of the year. And should you eat desserts when you're on a sugar-free diet? So I wanted to talk a little bit about what worked for me and what didn't. And I know that there are probably other people in a similar situation. So I think there are really like two issues if we're talking about this topic. And the first one is the whole concept of addiction. And then there's also the concept of cravings as they relate to sweet things. So in terms of addiction, I have to say I was really pleased to see that the medical establishment finally has acknowledged that sugar is an addictive substance. In fact, it triggers the same parts of the brain as cocaine and heroin. So it's very addictive, and I know this because I consider myself a sugar addict. And so, like any other addiction, if you cut out sugar and you're trying to eat sugar-free, say if you're on an anti-candida diet, you are going to crave it, and you're going to have possibly some physical repercussions from cutting that out. So that's why when you hear about ways to cut your sugar addiction, they almost always say, if you go sugar-free for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, at that point, you're going to be free of your sugar addiction. I have to say that did not work for me because I think, as I said, there's a difference between physical addiction and cravings can be much more emotional. So in terms of the addiction, yes, your body's going to be clear of the sugar, but will you still be wanting to eat desserts and eat sugar? And if you know anybody, for instance, who smokes marijuana, marijuana presumably is not physically addictive. So you're not going to get the shakes or what they used to call the DTs if you go cold turkey and cut it out. However, I know lots of people who smoke regularly who, were they to cut it out, of course, they'd still want it. There's that emotional, mental component. So not every addiction that's gone physically is going to be gone psychologically or emotionally. And I know for sure that's what happened with me when I cut sugar out. So presumably my sugar addiction was cleared within 2 weeks, but I can tell you it took me definitely more than 6 months, possibly a year before I felt that I wasn't craving sweet things all the time. So what's the best way to handle that? Because one of the arguments against eating sweet things, even if they're sugar-free, is some of the studies that have come out that said that eating artificial sweeteners actually raises insulin levels anyway because your brain is primed for something sweet and your insulin levels go up, and that kind of messes with your hormones and messes with your body, and then you can end up in a pre-diabetic state anyway. Well, those studies were done on artificial sweeteners. And if you look at something like stevia, which is an herbal sweetener, there's that issue to consider. Does it affect your blood sugar in the same way? I don't know that studies have been done on that. However, if I look at the kind of sweets that I ate, when you're eating sweet treats made with stevia that are appropriate for an anti-candida or a healthful diet, they're going to have lots of other ingredients in them. They're going to have healthy fats. They're going to have protein. They're going to have fiber. And so given that your whole food combined with this sweetener and all those other components is going to be much lower on the glycemic index, you will not be spiking blood sugar as much as you would just by, say, having a sweet drink. So for me, that was a mitigating factor. And what I decided to do, because as I said, cravings did not disappear. For me, a lot of the cravings had an emotional component. And if that's you, cutting out all sweeteners could be a disaster in my opinion, because if I were to cut out everything sweet and tell myself I couldn't eat anything sweet at all, I would probably be one of those people who would end up going a little haywire after a day or two and overcompensate in the other direction and just go wild on sweets. So when I started the anti-candida program, I told myself I could eat whatever I wanted and as much of it as I wanted, as long as it was made of safe ingredients that were considered okay on an anti-candida program. And in the beginning, that meant that I did sometimes overdo it on sweet treats because I was craving them a lot, and I mean a lot on the program. But an interesting thing began to happen. Over time, as I filled up on these things, the amount that I needed to feel satisfied lowered considerably. And I think part of that is what I was just saying about the kinds of treats I was eating. Yes, they were sweetened with stevia or xylitol or yacon syrup, but they also they were very nutrient dense. They contained all kinds of nutrients. And what happens when you eat something with sugar, most of the time it's also got refined flours in it. So your body says, ooh, great instant jolt in energy, but then your body starts to ask, hey, where's the nutrition in this? You haven't fed me yet. Give me more. And so you could be inclined to eat more and more because you're not actually nourishing your body. You're just feeding your mouth. Whereas with the kinds of treats you'd make with stevia or the kinds of treats that I have on my blog or that we enjoy in the Sweet Life Club, they're made with stevia and whole foods ingredients, whole nuts and seeds, sometimes whole grains. They're made with healthy fats. They're made with lots of fiber. And so I found when I was eating those, I got satisfied pretty quickly, but I actually could not binge the way I had previously because I just couldn't eat that much. I was getting too much nutrient-dense ingredients and I felt full. I just couldn't eat as much as I had before. So what tended to happen over time was I realized I wasn't craving as much. When I was craving, I ate less. And now it's been quite some time. I've been on an anti-candida modified program for a total of 15 years, and I'm on what I call maintenance now. So I do have sweet treats, but I find I don't crave them the same way. In fact, I can't even remember the last time I had a craving for sweets. Now, that doesn't mean I don't enjoy them. I still love sweet things, but I just don't crave them in the same way. So that worked for me. What I did initially was just allow myself, if I had cravings, I allowed myself the treats as long as they were healthful within the anti-candida program and very nutrient dense. So they always had fat, fiber, and protein in them. So I hope that's helpful. If that's you, that might work for you. I know for other people, cutting sugar out entirely works as well. They're trying to basically cause that craving for sweet flavors to just disappear from their diets. I knew that wouldn't work for me. And particularly now when it's the holiday season, I want to be able to have sweet treats. I want to go to parties and enjoy myself and eat sweets. But I'm going to eat the sweets that I make myself, that I know are going to be good to my body and nourish me and not cause all of those negative consequences that sugar and refined flours and alcohol and regular chocolate and all the other things that you see everywhere at this time of year would cause. So I hope that's useful to you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. And if you think this information would be useful for someone else, please do share it so that other people can benefit as well. And come by and see us in the Sweet Life Club, where you'll be getting recipes that are delicious and not only sweet, we have all kinds throughout the year to help you maintain your healthful diet. All right, everybody, I'm going to go and I'm going to have this delicious, it's a gingerbread bar. It's grain-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, egg-free, of course, and I'm going to go kick off the holidays with this. So I hope you all have a fantastic holiday season, and I will see you in the new year. Bye.